Today we'll check how this pimpled face, pizza eating, thin like skeleton kid became a software engineer. It all started when I had to bet everything on myself. 6 years ago, I worked at a co-working space as an overhaul helper, moving chairs, cleaning tables, helping customers, laughing at my boss, and funny jokes. Anything they needed, I was there, and I made a lot of good friends there also, and they supported me all the way. I even found my very first client while working there. He offered me a job editing the images that he took for his real estate business, and I was glad I took it because spending time with him while doing the work taught me so much about real estate. And also because I had nothing left in my pocket and I was super broke. Kudos also to my boss, or my former boss, for hiring me and my friend. He saw the potential that we can do it, and he bet on us that we can be software engineers with just free coffee, free internet access, and a job that pays 1/4 the minimum wage at the time. So let's continue. I was broke and fresh out of college, not really the type where I graduated, but because I dropped out. But that's another video in itself. And yeah, let's continue. I got my back against the wall, no money, no prospects, and not having much luck. But my friend and I were taken under the wing of a software engineer who works there as a bootcamp teacher. And he wanted to guide us on how to become a software engineer.
When you take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave. Please excuse me.
Now, there's two people who bet on us. Our former boss, and the second is the bootcamp teacher. He wanted to mentor us since he saw us doing all sorts of learning, from marketing to graphic design to whatever course we can get our hands on. And also trying to make money online with all sorts of things. It all failed. So he thought, we have the drive, but we just lack the guidance. He was our first mentor. We worked nights most of the time in that co-working space, and since not many people worked there at the time, we took advantage of that situation and brought our laptops. Using the free internet and the free coffee, we tried to learn programming. By the way, I was using at the time the mighty Celeron processor chip, so my laptop will crash every time I open the Chrome browser. It was the cheapest laptop I could get. We started learning on Free Code Camp, and since it's free, we moved to YouTube tutorials, then to other resources that we could find online. I never really knew what our exact goal was. All we did was code and never really focused on anything else like getting clients or how to get hired or what to say in an interview. But that all shifted when bills started coming in. I badly needed money, so from then on, all I had in mind was to find work and escape that meager pay, that 1/4 of a minimum wage.
Oh, and there's a woman. Yeah. A woman.
That made me do all sorts of jobs. It doesn't really matter as long as I'm earning money through coding, creating websites, copywriting, photo editing, video editing. As long as I get paid, I would do it. I would say, yes, I know how to do it. I didn't really know who I was back then or what I could proudly say my job was. I just kept accepting gigs here and there. It doesn't even matter if I actually knew how to use Photoshop or Premiere Pro, or if I knew how to set up a whole website from the ground up. I just said yes and just learned on the job. I made a lot of WordPress and Shopify sites. I designed and created website layouts, photoshopped many website contents, and edited videos like commercial videos for small e-commerce business. I even learned PHP. PHP? Ew. Just kidding. I learned it because I had to create a feature for one of my clients project management system, and he needed some feature that would email the schedule of all the virtual assistants that he had. All the virtual assistants have to do is just click on login on the project management system, and I use PHP to compile all of those data and just send him in one email blast to all the project managers and the people from the higher up. I wore many hats. Some days my title was a video editor, while some days a web developer. Then at some days I was an engineer. Yikes. A jack of all trades, but a master of none. Being a master of none, I felt like I was expendable because I don't really have any specialization. It felt like anything that I did could be done by any regular Joe with free internet access. That's when I was overstressed because I took so many gigs, more than I can handle, and I got stressed and I got fired from each and one of them. One by one I got fired. Then yeah, finally I got some time for myself and focus on just one thing, and that is coding. It was a blessing in disguise. I had some savings left to last me for about 3 months, so I was comfortable enough to be unemployed for a while and use that time to learn how to code. I didn't really get into vanilla JavaScript, even though it was the basics. I just bought the cheapest React Node JavaScript course on Udemy because it was during a sale. It was around $10, and I was there learning, feeling like a pro with my Hello World app, learning in the morning, playing video games in the afternoon, then learning again at night. I spent around 14 hours a day learning. Sometimes I get bored by the course and I go to Code Wars to solve algorithm problems, Free Code Camp. If that's too hard, I go someplace to learn like YouTube. There were also times when I saw something amazing online and I tried copying it and failed miserably. Some days I didn't. I also Google how to do things in JavaScript when I want to add something that I felt the course was lacking. So for example, at the course that I was learning from, it's teaching me how to create a loading screen, but somehow I wanted the loading screen to turn blue all of a sudden, then an image of a potato bouncing up and down, and yeah, I'll try to Google how I could manage to do it. It was not just one way of learning, but it really helped having many sources scattered around to learn from, and that's what it made learning how to code very fun and exciting. But there was one problem. It's been 2 months. I made a couple of apps here and there. Some I shared on LinkedIn and on other social media platforms, but I still haven't earned a single penny, and bills are starting to pile up. The bills are coming up, and if I still don't get hired by the 3rd month, I'll be homeless because there's still rent, there's electricity and utility bills. Fortunately, all that posting on LinkedIn paid off. Someone noticed the app that I posted and the updates on my journey, learning how to code, and also I think changing my title from full stack engineer, or I think it was MERN stack engineer, also helped me get my profile be noticed by recruiters. I was looking ahead of the future. I thought to myself, well, I might as well change my LinkedIn profile to say I am a software engineer, because that's what I am and no one's gonna make me think otherwise. I went to LinkedIn and saw the message notification. A recruiter messaged me asking me if I have time for a short interview. I accepted since I was broke and desperate for that sweet tech dough. She asked me if I had experience with Node, React, and different technologies. Then it hit me. What was the formula for how I ended up getting all sorts of jobs? By just saying yes. Do you have at least 1 year experience in Node? Yes. Do you have experience for at least 1 year coding in React? Yes. Do you make apps using these technologies? Yes. Do you know how to use MongoDB? Yes, absolutely. Like clockwork, I was a junior software engineer. I work with a very competent senior software engineer, and he's so thorough with the code base that he checked all of my commits and commented on better ways to implement things. I thought it was the end of me when I first started pushing my code because they may have found out that I wasn't experienced at all. Fortunately, they liked my work. Even though I was being taught at work, I still wanted to learn, so I bought more courses and learned after my shift. In the 6th month, the senior developer needed to leave because he was offered a better opportunity out there. I ended up being alone and getting his position, but due to the lack of experience, they didn't really give me a substantial raise. Just a small one, but it still beats being broke. And that's how I became a senior software engineer in just roughly 6 months. I'm just kidding. I actually stayed for another 12 months or so during those months the company started and gained 17,000 users, and we also added people to our team. The startup turned out to be a success, and I was even involved in the hiring process for other developers. The moment I knew that I am a software engineer is when I was mentoring other junior developers, also teaching them how to implement the best coding practices, and when it was also my turn to do what my mentors did, commenting on other junior developers' code, teaching and being taught by my colleagues. Lastly, when the HR team changed my position from junior software engineer to senior software engineer, that's when I knew I'm a senior software engineer. And I hope that story taught you something. In summary, the strategies that work for me are: 1. Having a mentor to guide you. It is very helpful to have someone guide you from 0 to 100. Having a good presence in social media platforms like LinkedIn and other platforms that you may get clients. It has to do a lot with luck. To be honest, this story was more on how I got lucky and met the right people and be at the right time. And yeah, because of luck, it got me where I am today. So yeah, if you've been here for quite a while, consider subscribing, and if this video taught you something, yeah, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Yeah, bye.